Sean Sewell with Engearment and Colorado Personal Fitness. And I am going to go over the similarities and the differences between a competition kettlebell and a traditional kettlebell in this video. And a big shout out to Kettlebell Kings for providing both these kettlebells. From what I've seen and what I've learned over the last 3 months working with Kettlebell Kings, these are among the best kettlebells I've ever used. And that's saying quite a bit because I've been using kettlebells for 10, 12 years plus and use them every day. For what it's worth, my business is fitness. I operate Kettlebell Personal Fitness here in Denver as well as online, and I use kettlebells every day in our practice personally and as well as for my students. And I can definitely say the Kettlebell Kings are very well constructed at that. So, before you, I have two of exactly the same weights. These are both 28 kilograms, which is 62 pounds for us US. The math is 2.2 pounds per kilogram in case you're wondering. So as you can see, there's a little bit of differences in size and design between a competition bell and a traditional bell. Now, I personally use both in my practice. I've gone through IKFF, learned kettlebell sport, and enjoy a lot from that. And of course, I've gone through StrongFirst, and I really enjoy the hard style, and you use traditional usually with that. You can use either one for either discipline, for sure, and neither one is better than the other. But hopefully going through the key features and benefits and differences in this video will help you determine which one to invest in for your health and wellness. Okay, let's just start on your left, competition kettlebell. What is cool about competition kettlebells is they're always the same size, meaning no matter the weight, they are always the same size and shape. For example, here's a 10 kilo kettlebell. It's the same size and shape as a 28, even though this is about a third the weight of this one. The handles are the same girth, the same functionality, and what's great about that is, especially for a beginner, if they're learning a maneuver, say they're getting into a rack position, they can learn how this feels tactically, meaning how the bell is placed. The pressure is dispersed across a bigger area, so it feels usually better for most beginners. So once you learn this technique and you've owned this position, you know that this position right here will feel the same with a heavier kettlebell. Of course, the bell will be heavier, resulting in more bracing, which is fantastic, but you'll learn that this feels consistent throughout your training. You'll learn the hand placement is consistent too. They're almost always the same size, same girth, and same shape. So again, that has great benefits in consistency and learning technique. They're very well made, they're durable. That blue one I just showed you has been in my truck and in the wilderness for the last 10 years. It's been a tent stake in blizzards. They're really great investments. They usually cost a little bit more than traditional kettlebells as well. Traditional kettlebells are a little bit different as far as the bigger the kettlebell, the heavier it is. So, for example, here's a 12 kilo. It makes sense that it's smaller and weighs less, which I think is just total common sense that the smaller the bell, smaller the object, the less weight it is. And also, as you'll see, smaller the size, smaller the handle, smaller the girth on the handle. So the positives there is it's really easy, especially for a beginner, to look at the kettlebell and say, oh, the smaller one is lighter, and know which one to gravitate towards. Also, when learning technique, say a certain population might benefit from the smaller girth and the smaller size. Conversely, like I mentioned, more pressure displaced over a wider area, now I have more density, so I feel that a little bit more in my forearm. Is that a bad thing? No. A beginner might be a little turned off at first with that, but proper training and just consistency, and they'll learn to appreciate and place correctly. What I also appreciate about traditional kettlebells is the girth on the handles can sometimes be bigger than a competition. And for me, in my training, I associate, at least mentally, that bigger girth with more recruitment of my body working together, which I really like. So especially if I'm getting to a heavy grind, I like to have that extra girth to just initiate more recruitment. I know it's probably all in my head, working this muscle between the ears, but that's how I feel. Price-wise, traditional kettlebells are usually a little bit less in price than a competition kettlebell. And then markings. This is a great consistent thing between both. Notice the orange. Orange is indicative, representative of 28 kilograms. That should be across the board. You should be able to go into a training facility anywhere in the world, see this orange and know that's 28. You see a green and it's 24. You see a red and you know it's 32. You see a white, you know it's 36 kilos. So forth and so forth. They should be consistent through other brands and manufacturers. And that's just one of the things about kettlebells I like, is the consistency with the weight and hopefully construction. Kettlebell Kings make some of the best kettlebells I've ever seen and used. I have broken lesser kettlebells. I know probably 10 years ago I started picking up every kettlebell I could find, and I definitely learned the hard way, you get what you pay for. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you buy something that's expensive and it's still a piece of crap and it breaks. But if you buy a reputable company, it's going to last you a very, very long time. I keep traditional kettlebells as well as competition kettlebells in my truck at all times. I've actually used 24 kilo as a level for my truck when winter camping. I drove right up on it, no problem. It got stuck in the snow and the ice because it was below freezing, so I used my mace right there in the corner to pry it open like a crowbar. That was kind of fun, using a fitness tool on a fitness tool. But you know, I've kept this guy in my truck for several years, and it's going strong. I mean, been in snow, been in rain, mud, dirt, all kinds of stuff. As Pavel would say, the kettlebell is going to outlive you. So just invest in good ones. They'll treat you right. It's a great investment in your health, wellness, and fitness. And so, bottom line, both kettlebell styles will treat you well. One is not better than the other, unless anything jumped out to you in this video and you're like, oh, I would really like for it to be consistent with how it feels and across the board as far as the sizing. Well, then that sounds like you want a competition kettlebell. That's great. Now, if you want to save a few dollars and have more common sense sizing, then traditional is probably for you. And also, if you want a smaller kettlebell profile, a smaller, compactness, traditional probably a better choice for you as well. Hopefully these comparisons and differences were helpful for you. If there's any questions you might have, please put them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. And hopefully you found this helpful. If so, just give it a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. This is Sean Sewell with Engearment.com and Colorado Personal Fitness. Until next time, take care.